Rick Dollar here with the Rick Dollar Show. And if you can't get us on our 30 affiliates across the US and Canada, just hit iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, all kinds of stuff. Just type in the Rick Dollar Show, man. It'll shoot you where you need to be. Believe me. Hey, we're going to have a new podcast coming out here in the future. It's called My Appalachian Home. We're going to highlight some of the guys, maybe just a step away from musicians like guitar makers and banjo makers and people like that. So we're going to have those guys on our new podcast. So watch for that. My guest today is Mr. John Meador. John,
How's it going?
I thought he went to sleep. You're in Colorado, so you could very well be going to sleep right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mr. Grammy nominated John Meador, formerly
Oh,
of Authentic Unlimited. And not to say that this man did not blow everybody's mind a few days ago there at the Grand Ole Opry with Mr. Vince Gill. What a song you put out. I mean, it was the weird thing about it was kind of like watching Vince and listening to Vince. If you shut your eyes, you could hear him hit those high notes again, but it was John Meador, which was a cool thing.
oh man, Vince is the man. There'll never be another one of him, that's for sure.
He's the GOAT, man. Let me tell you, I met him a few years ago, and it was everything about this cat was just awesome. He was
The
just the cool.
best.
I know, man, just the coolest guy you'd ever meet in your life. But yeah, you blew everybody's mind a few days ago, but you did throw out a couple of hints. I did see we were talking about this picture with you on Zach Top's backstage, and I was like, I'm not sure what's going on there, but man, it looks like they were just having fun. I mean,
I was
so
like, hey, do you give piggyback rides back here? And he's like, absolutely. I jumped on.
what a guy, man. I
Oh
love
yeah,
Zach. I mean, we interviewed him a few years back when he did his first bluegrass record before he had busted through in the country genre the way he is now. But
for
I
sure.
saw you with a country artist that I know who's blowing up right now. And then I started doing a little research and nothing had come out on social media. And I was seeing all these little things like, hey, big news coming up in, 2 days. And I'm like, what is he doing? You know, you're Grammy nominated in the bluegrass industry. I mean, one of the biggest names that Authentic Unlimited's ever had, besides when, Doyle was around and it wasn't called Authentic Unlimited then. But anyway,
Right.
yeah, the thing was you've been on a lot of people's records, uh, incredible voice that you have. You handle yourself on the stage like a consummate professional.
Oh, thank you, man.
But all of these things were pointing to something big. And I just couldn't put my finger on it, but I think I sent you a message.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're one of the first to know, I guess. Yeah.
well, I kind of figured something was up, but I'm glad to see what it is. It looks like with you hanging out with Vince Gill and doing some things with him, I think a massive solo career is what's getting ready to hit.
I sure hope so. And this year, I'll be putting most of my time into Vince's tour.
Mm-hmm.
We start in May, and and then go through August. That's his summer tour this year, and then on this side of it and on the other side of it, we'll be doing Opry stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah,
great.
that's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a crying shame that he found somebody like me.
Well,
I was like,
I think it's June 7th. You're going to be in Savannah, Georgia, at the Johnny Mercer Theater, and I don't know, I may grab a ticket to that and knock on the
"Oh,
old
do it."
door there. Yeah, man, just see what you guys are doing and hug
Yes,
some
sir.
necks and just be around some people. Um,
Absolutely.
so what was it like, man, with the Opry thing with Vince? I mean, were you just like pinching yourself saying, what in the hell am I doing?
Yeah, to be honest, because I mean, I play the Opry a lot with Daly and Vincent, and that's awesome,
Mm-hmm.
experience because they were heroes of mine when I was a kid, and playing it with Authentic. The very first time I played the Opry was with Authentic Unlimited, and that was just a special night. And that's the first time I sung on stage with Vince. Was that night he came out and he asked us to come be his band for a song or two, and we were like, "Oh yeah, absolutely." We I mean, yeah, we ain't got nothing to do. I mean, we don't have to be to
And
the
we're
house for a while,
we're
so
we're good for a couple of days, whatever you need,
yeah.
sir.
And but now just standing beside of him singing these classics that I've grew up listening to my whole life, it's
Mm-hmm.
just amazing because he's probably my biggest hero and one of my
Mm-hmm.
biggest influences just as a guy, as a singer, sensitive musician, that pays attention to detail. And yeah, it's kind of surreal being up there right beside of him. It's something that I've always dreamed of doing.
Well, I don't think there's very many people out there that are going to get this opportunity that you did. Just on the Vince Gill end of things.
All
Okay.
right, it's a
Um,
blessing, man.
man, it's I mean, I guess you had to let you threw out some Don Williams stuff. You performed some of that stuff, I think, on Instagram and I think on Facebook. I saw some stuff around and I was like, man, this guy loves country music. You
I
know,
do.
you're
Yeah,
good at what you do in bluegrass, but man, I think that country music is near and dear to your heart.
it is, and most songs that I've written, and I write, every week.
Mm-hmm.
Most songs that I've written, nobody's ever heard yet, and I'm looking forward to. I'm working on my solo career and stuff, and I've had these songs in my pocket for a year or two now, and I've been writing a bunch more lately, so I'm getting a bunch of songs together, and it's just I've never been able to release them yet. They didn't fit what I was doing. I didn't think the songs would grow with what I was doing. It just wasn't the right home for them.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully we'll find a home pretty soon.
Well, I think so. I mean, I think that's going to be the least of your worries, young man. I think it's going to be finding the time to do everything that you're going to have the opportunities to do is going to be the issue with you. I mean, and that's a great problem to have. Now, we talked about Authentic Unlimited. You left Authentic Unlimited, but Colton Baker came in and and filled the gap for those guys. I don't think those guys got any problems or anything to worry about either. I mean, they're like I said, you guys
Oh
were
man,
just all over the place, man.
man, Colton is a great buddy of mine, and we were uh, we were playing a show out in Mountain View, Arkansas, and this was like a week after I told him the news, and it was a hard thing. I'm not gonna lie because these guys are my best friends,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got a family to provide for, and I was driving, so much to meet them and everything. I wasn't spending any time with my kids, and this thing with Vince is just, the financial part of it. Even is just, it's a life changer for my family.
Mm-hmm.
But um, yeah, a week after I told them and kind of talked with them about everything, um, we went to play in Mountain View, Arkansas, and on our way there, I was talking to Steven because I knew Russell Moore and Third Time Out was going to be there, and that's who Colton was playing with. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, man, you need to, we need to talk to Colton, And he was like, yeah, I've been thinking about him. I was like, yeah, well, you need to. So we took him out to eat and stuff and everything, and it was just great. Talked to him for a while, and he was all about it, and I thought he handled himself really professionally with Russell and everything. It's just a good situation on all ends, and there's nobody I would rather have to fill the spot, than him. And I don't want him to try to be me to play with Authentic Unlimited. He is so
Mm-hmm.
good. He needs to be himself and put his identity into that, and they're gonna have a great sound.
Mm-hmm. They are. They are. I mean, it's that way. Sometimes when good things come our way, there's always something in the background to make that work out. And it
Yeah.
did. So, let's talk
It's
about.
crazy how all these
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was
No.
just gonna say it's crazy how all these things happened just in time. It wasn't pressured, it wasn't pushed or anything. It was just God's time, and everything just fit together like a puzzle. You know, from Vince's tour starting like 2 days after I got off the road with Authentic, that worked out perfectly. Colton coming in, that worked out perfectly. It's just, it's something you can't orchestrate yourself.
No, and it's all for the good. It's going to be a benefit for you. It's going to be good for Colton. It's going to be good for Authentic. It's going to be good for Vince. I mean, I'm sure there's a negative somewhere, but I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? It's just
I
kind
don't
of
see it either.
crazy. It's crazy. But let's talk
The
about.
only negative part is just missing those guys, because they're my best friends in the world, man. And I've never had so much fun in my life.
I'm telling you, those guys are nuts. I mean, it's just
Yeah,
it's fun just being around them. I
yeah,
mean, you don't
I
get
fit in
that
pretty good on that
opportunity.
part.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen some pictures, and I don't know. I don't think I'm privy to say anything about that right now. But anyway,
Oh man, I don't know what you're referring to, but it could be anything. I'm sure.
that's what I'm saying. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah,
Y'all just enjoy yourself on the road, and it's funny sometimes to see everybody having such a good time, and doing what you do so well. So
no,
that's
thank you.
kudos, man. That's what you guys got to do. Now, what you were Grammy nominated for last year was "Fall in Tennessee." Now, that was you and Bob Minner wrote that song. Is that right?
We did. We wrote that song.
Okay.
Now that got IBMA Song of the Year, but it wasn't Grammy nominated
Oh,
for it.
okay. I'm sorry.
That song wasn't. It got Song of the Year at IBMA, and it got Music Video of the Year.
Right.
But the Grammy nomination was for our Roots Gospel album, the
Oh,
Bluegrass
yeah.
Gospel.
Man, that was a
Which,
great record, too.
oh man, we had a lot of fun with it, and yeah. But we recorded that album at the same time as So Much for Forever with Fall in
Hmm.
Tennessee on it.
Yeah. Man, that was a great tune. Let me tell you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. Now, I did see that, you, Bob Minner, and Rhonda Vincent put together a little project.
Yes, sir.
Listening to the Rain. What a great song. I mean, this thing's gonna jump out there because you're getting a lot of press for everything else that you're doing. Rhonda always gets a lot of press. Bob gets a lot of press. So it's got to be a
Absolutely.
benefit to this, and with all the talent, getting a song out there. So
We had a lot of fun with that. It was. I remember when Bob called me about doing it. He was like, "Man, thinking about I'm recording another album and everything, and I'm wanting guests on all the tracks to sing and stuff." And he was like, "Think about this for a minute." He's like, "Don't say no, don't say yes, just think about this." He's like, "Listening to the rain." He's like, "Don't say anything. I know it's been done, but it hadn't been done this way. I'm thinking about matching the lyrics with the music. Slow that thing down to a completely different tempo, different groove, and make it more tender, make people pay attention to the lyrics because I don't feel like, people have listened to the lyrics of the song that much."
yeah,
And he said, "And let's be honest, we're not going to get a better cut of that song doing it like the Osmond Brothers because that's as good as it gets. So we got to do it
exactly.
different." Yeah.
So, well, I mean, enough said. I'm just waiting for that one to jump up the charts too. I mean, it's crazy. So did you have to talk to Billy Blue Records about your jumping ship, or I'm just wondering how many times Jerry Sally pulled his hair out when you told him
Oh, no.
this?
No, you know, I know there's a lot of bad things that go on with record labels and
No,
a
I
lot of
love
bad
Jerry.
partings.
Yeah,
But man, we're just all friends there. We were
yeah,
friends before we were business partners. And um, Ed and Kyle and Jerry and all those guys were just really kind about it. It was sad, because they're my friends too,
yeah.
but they understood. They're behind me 100%, and just because I'm not on the label, don't mean that we can't still be friends and work together from time to time. And
Sure.
uh, so it was a good parting because it's not really a parting. I'm just not playing with Authentic, and I'm not on the record label, but we're still friends and everything. So worked out
Yeah.
good.
That's what I'm saying. You keep saying this. It worked out good. It worked out good.
Right.
Man, did it ever. I mean,
Yes.
I don't know what's going to go, how it's going to be from here on out with you. I think you're probably
I
going to
don't either.
be, I think you're going to be very busy with what you know that you're going to do, but it's the residual stuff that's going to happen in the future that you can't see, that I've already thought
Right.
about. I'm thinking, God, how much exposure are you going to be getting? You know, just being around Vince Gill and being on this tour and doing what you do and complimenting his voice the way you do. I mean,
Right.
that one little clip when y'all were doing Go Rest High, I was like, holy crap. It sounds just like when he used to do it. But you guys were complimenting each other in 100 different ways. So,
Well, I hope so, man. I can explain how much I enjoy just listening to that, like a foot from me. I'm hearing that
mhm,
what I heard on the record for so many years, and I'm singing with him. It's an honor.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But for one thing, for one person, I can only speak for me. I'm very proud of you. I know
Like,
I know what you got. I know you can do this, and I know you're going to be highly successful. But I think, guys like Zach Top, look at him. He worked his can off for so many
yeah.
years. So many years. I mean, I think I interviewed him either 2019 or 2020 was the first time I ever sat down with Zach. And I mean, I told my partner at the time, I was like, whoa, you're not going to believe this cat. This dude is like old country waiting to happen again.
Yeah. He is the real deal, and this is something that I'm not going to say it pisses me off, because it's not that, but man, you see the end product of his record and everything he's doing right now, and
Mm,
everybody's like, oh yeah, he's a musician. They don't have to work, they just have it. They're born with that, and we didn't know who he was, and then the next day he blew up. Now everybody knows. Well, no, it don't work like that, man. Everybody thinks that, but he's put in so much work before that people don't realize, and it's an industry that takes a lot of work and years of training, just like a doctor or a lawyer.
well,
And most people do not realize that, but that man has worked for what he's got. And anybody that's, where they're at, like Vince, he had to work for years and years to get where he's at.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, first time I met Vince was in Greenville, Tennessee. He did a show down there, and I was living in Bristol at the time. And this was the most down to earth person I've ever seen in my life. I mean, there was astronauts, there was actors, there was actresses, there was politicians, there was all these people that I was standing next to backstage with Vince Gill, and I had my 5 year old grandson with me. And Logan, didn't really know who Vince was, but he knew me, and we were
Does now?
talking, and as he was standing there taking pictures with all these famous people and important people, he was talking to my grandson. He's like, hey Logan, how many girlfriends you got, and stuff like that. And the whole time I'm thinking, what a guy is this person? This dude is, you just don't understand it sometimes, because the music industry sometimes, how a guy
Oh yeah.
that is that down to earth can be that successful. But I see that in you too. You're down to earth too. And it's coming.
Uh,
It's
I don't
coming.
have anything to keep me from going off the earth, so I didn't got no choice but to stay down to earth. So um,
Yeah, none of us do, man. Let me tell you. But this solo career, tell me a little bit about this. I know you're going to be working with other people, but you got all these songs ready. So you going to try to find a landing spot, or you just going to, what you going to do about that?
well, the current plan for now is obviously I'm going to be doing Vince Gill's tour and doing the Opry dates with him and the Ryman dates and anything he does. I'm also still going to be filling in with Daily and Vincent like I have in the
Mm-hmm.
past when I can. They've been really good to me, and I've got a Skag show coming up, so I'm going to be filling in with him. And you never know. I might guest with Authentic a time or two this year. Little reunion thing. You never know where that might be or when it is. But
Yeah.
um, also for right now, my solo career part, I'm working on the pieces now, getting everybody together. That's going to be my team. I want it to be people I can trust
Mm-hmm.
and people who are Christians, and good at their jobs that can make things
Mm-hmm.
happen. People that'll answer the phone when I call, and people that'll call me when I answer the phone. You know.
That's exactly right, man.
Um, and I've found some really good people that I want to work with me now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, for now I'm going to try to record a single or two
Mm-hmm.
of original music. I want a lot of it to be original music, but I've also got some great songs from like Cordell and I'm talking to a few other different people, Carl Jackson
Mm-hmm.
and Alex Miller. Me and him's been writing some good ones together, and so I've got some really good songs um, from some of my favorite writers, and I can't wait to get that out. And I'm just going to try to release that on my own for now, so I
Mm-hmm.
have something to shop to labels, and then I'm going to be looking at labels for a full album.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to find a better bunch of guys. You got, Jerry Sally, Carl Jackson, Larry Cordell, Alex Miller.
Yeah,
These guys are
sure.
just powerhouses in this business.
Hmm.
Right up your alley.
Yeah,
Gosh, man, he ain't going to answer the phone when I call next time. I guarantee you that, man.
that's not true. Not
Hey,
true.
you're a good fella, man, and you deserve all the success that you're seeing right now and more. But it's like the story of the year, man. I'm telling you, it really is.
Well, it's really exciting. Not deserved, but definitely appreciated. And I don't take these opportunities for granted. I'm going to try my best to put myself into it and do what I love to do, sing the songs that I feel, the songs I write. And at the same time, I get to, with having a solo career, I can kind of call more shots about when I'm gone and stuff. I can spend more time with the kids and my
Mm-hmm.
wife, take vacations to the Rockies and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's can you turn your camera around? You don't have a view right now, do you? Or do you? I think Colorado always has a view somewhere.
Well,
No?
there's a view, but it's behind the gas station right now that I'm sitting at.
Okay, well, I've seen
But
plenty of gas stations, so that's not a big deal.
yeah,
But I did
it's
see some
nothing
stuff you put up
spectacular.
on social media earlier, and I was like, holy crap, that's beautiful,
Man, it's insane up here.
It
I love it.
is. It is. Well, man, thanks for spending some of your vacation time with me.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure.
Man, I appreciate you a whole bunch. And hey, you know where we are. Anything we could do for you, just let us
Sir.
know, okay?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Rick.
Yeah, man. Rick Dollar here for the Rick Dollar Show. And I've been with Mr. John Meador.